Berton-on-Trent. His opponent, the unregarded, but with tremendous support here tonight, one has to say, Andy Flute from Coseley, which is midway between Wolverhampton and Birmingham. We're here at the Aston Villa Leisure Centre, not far from the Villa football ground. And it's a packed house, and there is tremendous enthusiasm here. Brown is, of course, the favourite to win. Brown in the blue trunks, 27 years old, making his first defence of this title that he won in London less than 3 months ago, against the odds, against the southpaw Frank Grant from Bradford, the man who had deposed Harold Graham and sent Graham into retirement. Brown fought well that night and beat his man in 7 rounds, using a lot of skill. Now he faces this unregarded 23-year-old Andy Flute from Coseley, who's taller than Brown. He's 6'1". He's quite tall, actually. He's 3 inches taller than Brown, but he comes from a family of fighters. Andy Flute in those lavender-coloured trunks. Flute on the right. Brown was one of the most gifted amateur boxers of his time. He's developed slowly as a pro. He's had 22 fights, just 1 defeat. But now he's champion. And he'll be out to look good tonight against a man he's used to meeting in the gym. These two have sparred together many times. Flute with very little to lose and everything to win. One of the big doubts about Flute is his left eye, which is vulnerable. It's cost him 2 fights already in his short professional career. Brown getting to work early on with accurate punches to the face. Brown, the British middleweight champion, the latest in a long line of famous fighters, going back, in my time, to men like Randolph Turpin. Flute with the inscription, "The Rebel," on the left leg of his trunks. When he won this title in November, Brown completely outboxed Frank Grant with skill with both hands and feet, and then put him away on a cut eye in the 7th round. It's a lively start to this championship. And the honours narrowly must go to this man, the champion from Berton-on-Trent, Neville Brown, 27 years old, 5 feet 10 inches tall, who won the title as the culmination of 4 years' work as a pro after a truly brilliant amateur career. He was twice the ABA light middleweight champion in 1987 and 89, and he won a bronze medal in the European Championships in the days when it wasn't easy to do that in 1987. There was some quite vivid action in this opening round, and there were some seeking head punches from Brown, and Flute coming back trying to sweep his own right hand over the top.
Second. Seconds out, round 2.
Tremendous atmosphere in this Aston Villa Leisure Centre. I think the greatest support is actually for the challenger. Flute seems to have a huge army of fans in here. And he's got his elder brother, Colin Flute, who's also a professional boxer, in his corner. He's got a big task on hand here, though, against Brown. Flute, very upright. Very English style. Brown moving more easily from the waist, but Flute clearly not prepared to give ground. One remembers that there is just one defeat on Brown's record when he got caught with a good right hand and his chin didn't stand up to it. A man called Paul Wesley from Birmingham did that to him in '91. And one feels that Flute will be trying to do just the same thing here. He'll know about that. There's a swelling, a very slight swelling coming up around Brown's left eye. They were working on it in the interval, so it was beginning to show that. It's looking slightly worse now. Nothing serious yet, but it could be the start of trouble for Brown. Flute marched to the ring, upright and looking very determined, and still does so. Standing his ground here against the British middleweight champion. Second round. Brown doing most of the leading off. It's a very fast start to a fight that might have to go 12 rounds. They put a lot into these first 6 minutes. Well, this is some crowd here singing already at tops of their voices. I think they're the Flute supporters. And Brown looked at Flute at the end of the second round as much to say, what are you up to? You're giving me a bit of hassle here, and he certainly is. Andrew Flute from Coseley. This is what he's done so far. 23 years old, only 18 pro fights, 14 wins. 9 of them inside the distance, 3 defeats. And 2 of those defeats were caused by the left eye. But it isn't his left eye that's the problem at the moment, it's Brown's, and here it is. There's swelling around the left eye of Neville Brown. They're still working on it. Brendan Ingle, his trainer, looking slightly anxious about it too.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Look at this crowd, and
Second out,
at least
round
50% of them are singing their heads off. And Flute measuring left for left with the champion. Neville Brown, the champion, in the dark blue trunks. Purple, I suppose. Flute was a reasonably well-known amateur. He boxed for the Young England team before he turned pro. He turned pro very young. He was only 17 when he turned pro in 1989. In fact, he's been a pro longer than Neville Brown has. Brown's punching just the more accurate of the two. His left jab is getting through to the face of Flute. And Flute's replies are just off-centre. Extremely good championship. Quick left jab from Brown just knocks Flute back on his heels. But Flute always very quick to come back. And it's quite obvious that Flute fancies his chance here. He's hardly giving ground, and he's always countering. A good open fight. There's hardly been a clinch. This is going to test their stamina to the full, because they've been going full out now since the first bell. The right eye of Flute's beginning to look a little marked. It's an extraordinary pace for men who weigh 11.5 stone or just under. Well, tremendous action for 3 rounds. The left jab of Brown is just about keeping in front. You see what I mean about the right eye of Flute? It's beginning to show some marks. He's got a slight raise, I think it is, underneath it. And that could give him, that eye could give him some trouble later. So the marks of battle beginning to show already early on in this fight. Only 3 rounds completed. But what a pace they're fighting at, and what atmosphere in this place. The Aston Villa Leisure Centre really proving, with an all-Midland Championship, proving the right place to be tonight. Brendan Ingle whispering in the ear of the champion. The left eye of Brown looking no worse than it was at the end of the previous round.
Seconds out, round 4.
Neville Brown, the champion, in the purple trunks, against Andy Flute from Coseley, near Tipton, south of Wolverhampton. Colin Flute, his uncle, is in the corner. I think I called him his older brother. It's his uncle, of course. Colin Flute, he's in the corner. His father, Alan Flute, trains him. It's a remarkable thing that at one time, when they were both amateurs, his father and the son here, Andy, were both boxing amateur at the same time. That must be almost unique, I would have thought. Dad was 40, and Andy here was 11. Putting in a big attack here, but still can't quell the challenger, who always comes back with something. These punches are wrapping Flute around the head, but he never budges, he never moves back from them. He always stands his ground and then counters. The 4th round of what's proving to be, could turn out to be a classic. It's a remarkably fast middleweight championship fight with plenty of skill and a lot of initiative and enthusiasm being shown by these 2 men. Good fight. Brown always just landing more punches and better punches, I feel. Just. Because you wouldn't put it past Flute to produce something extraordinary. He's looking so determined. Andy Flute, proving to be a really good challenger. So, Neville Brown, the eye, looking a little worse for wear now. And a graze, a vertical graze, I think, underneath the left eye. A few marks, and feeling the pace, taking deep breaths. Brown made a big effort in this last round, putting a lot of punches together. It's taken a bit out of him, actually. And he's going to have to produce it again.
10 seconds.
What a good left that was from Brown. But Flute is a strong fighter.
Seconds out, round 5.
Hook across. Brown in the purple trunks, the British middleweight champion, making his first defense of this title. When he was an amateur, Brown beat Richie Woodhall, who's the current Commonwealth middleweight champion. Another Midlander. Didn't please Brown too much when they sent Richie Woodhall to the Olympics in Seoul in '88. They didn't send him, although he'd beaten Woodhall. Still rankles. Brown is the product of a Jamaican father, Jimmy, an English mother, Jenny. He took up boxing after he saw Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran on television when he was 14 years old. Pace, not unexpectedly, has slowed a little. They went off at such a pace over the first 4 rounds, they couldn't possibly sustain that. They went at the pace of featherweights, 9 stone men rather than 11.5 stone men. Brown has eased off a bit here. He's picking his punches more carefully. He's well marked, Brown. He's got a nasty looking left eye, which is marked above and below, not cut I don't think, but marked and swelling. I think also Brown has got a badly sore mouth, and he hasn't got this job over yet. Some marks appearing under the eyes of Flute now. These are signs of the sort of battle it is. It's such a hard fight, and they really are getting their punches through to the face. Flute looks to me as though he's got marks under both eyes. Well, it's some fight. 5 rounds completed. Well, it's a pleasure from this side of the ropes anyway to see a fight that's of such quality and such ferocity. Look at those marks on Brown. That's extraordinary. He's got sort of red wheels down the forehead and under the eyes. I don't know how they've been caused. I suppose punches that have grazed across his head. Flute still trying to get the punches across, but being beaten to the punch by Brown.
For 10 seconds.
So a hard fight here at Aston Villa.
Second round, round 6.
Flute in those light-coloured trunks described as lavender when he was introduced, but now soaked with water, looking anything but lavender. Flute now looking rather more badly marked around the eyes than Brown. This is a bruising, hard, battling championship fight. But well worthy of the British title. Brown still usually the first to lead. And still the left jab of Brown seems to me to be the dominant punch. Flute's counter's not coming quite so fluently now. He may be beginning to tire. I would think myself both of them are already feeling pretty tired. They've gone at such a pace. Again and again, that left jab pops into the face of Flute. Flute's counters now rather more infrequent, although he's still trying to get them across. What a vicious looking mark underneath the right eye of Flute. A war of attrition, this. A shower of water comes out over the ring from Flute. He's got a few marks now, Andy Flute. You can see that one I was talking about underneath the right eye. I think he's really beginning to feel the pace now. He doesn't look quite as fluent as he did before. The counter punches are not coming quite as easily as they were. And we're coming into the 7th round, and one remembers that the 7th round is the round in which Neville Brown won this title in November from Frank Grant of Bradford. And all these shots, these close-ups in the corners, give you some indication of what a hard game this is.
Corners, 10 seconds. Second down, round 7.
Well, Neville Brown, coming out of the right-hand corner in the purple trunks, has had some sort of terrific talking to from Brendan Ingle, some sort of pep talk. Maybe Brendan saying, come on, this is the round you did it against Grant when you won the title, do it again. But Flute is not beaten yet, far from it. Flute's nose now bleeding quite badly. Grant certainly done some damage there, and now Flute will have a lot of trouble with his breathing. It's a bad nosebleed. Flute getting all the encouragement possible from his supporters here. There are a lot of them. Brown's left eye looking a little worse again. Corner signaling to him to keep the left jab out, keep that left going, and that has been the key to this fight. There's a big swelling coming up underneath Brown's left eye. The mark under the right eye of Flute is leaking blood, and these two are really showing signs of battle here. It's a hard, cutting, bruising fight. These two men are really putting on a very courageous performance here, because they're both taking quite a lot of punishment. And it's going to be, well, now, the challenger Flute is badly cut now. His left eye is gone, I think. He's looking in a bad way. In the 7th round, is Brown going to win it again in the 7th round? He won the title in the 7th. He's stropping right hands against Flute's blood-soaked face, and Flute is in a lot of trouble. He's got a cut on the left eye. This is the vulnerable eye that's let him down already in fights. He's cut under the right as well, and Brown is very close to victory at this point if he can keep the attacks up in the 7th. The bell has come at a very crucial moment as far as Flute's concerned, because another 30 seconds and the referee might have had to stop it, I suspect. He's got so many cuts. I think he's cut under both eyes. He's certainly cut above the left eye, as you can see there. That's a very awkward cut. I'm not sure he's going to be able to continue with that. That's a very bad cut. You don't need me to tell you that. And it's over. It's called off. He can't continue. And Neville Brown at the end of the 7th round has made a successful first defense. Some idiot has thrown a glass into the ring, and another one's come over my head. They're only plastic, thank God. But these are the Flute supporters who can't take it that their man has been beaten. But if they saw, as we saw in those shots, how bad that cut is, they might understand. Mickey Duff, the manager of Brown, the first one to go over and congratulate Flute on a tremendous challenge, and it was a fantastic challenge. Well, suddenly the left eye of Flute went, and that might have been, in fact, almost certainly, well, if it wasn't the first one, it was certainly the second that caused the damage that brought the fight to an end. Well, it must have been something like that.
Do yourselves a favour, lads. Sit down and behave yourselves.
So, Neville Brown, 27 years old, from Burton-on-Trent, in his 23rd fight, successfully defends the British Middleweight Championship, but that, believe me, and he'll know, was no easy victory. He knows about the left eye, that's in trouble. But sheer determination, constant aggression, a good left jab, and in the end, 2 or 3 right hands brought it to a conclusion at the end of the 7th round. And Andy Flute will go down in the annals as a very, very brave and courageous challenger. And now Flute is taking the cheers from his supporters, and he deserves them. A fine British middleweight title fight here in the Aston Villa Leisure Centre.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure they
Congratulations, but that was far from easy.
Very good, very trying effort from Andy Flute, but I expected that. I wasn't too sure if I was going to come out and box or take it to him. I felt I was strong enough to take it to him. He wasn't hurting me, and it was a crowd pleaser at the end of the day.
It was certainly a crowd pleaser. You've wound up with a few marks around both eyes, and these strange, you won't be able to see them, but you've got some sort of strange marks, almost like a red Indian paint over you. Are they caused by gloves or what?
Yeah, gloves. It's all part of the territory. It comes to the territory. It's a hard game in there. I think to do as well, new gloves. The new red leather, it comes off and it tends to mark you. So I suppose I'll wash it off in a little while. But that's my excuse anyway.
No, it was a good fight. I mean, he put up a great challenge.
Yeah, they're all going to do that. They're all going to lift themselves for this title, and I ain't going to let it go. I mean, I was there in the trenches for the 12 rounds, definitely.
Did you rate this a better performance than when you won the title?
No, I was moved more by Grant and a very formidable opponent, and maybe I was a bit lackadaisy towards Andy Flute, but at the same time I had a lot of respect for him, and like I said, he lifted himself for the game.
Andy, that was a great challenge. You've made a lot of friends tonight, on television certainly, and you had an army of supporters out there.
I've always been well supported, yeah. But, I expected it to be tough, but I'm just disappointed that the cut out, and I thought in the first round, I thought it was just a matter of who was going to go first, because he seemed more marked up than me. But
He still is.
yeah, but it's just one of them things, and it's just back to the drawing board now.
That left eye has given you trouble before, hasn't it?
A little bit, yeah, but I'm still young, and I'll come back even better. I haven't reached my peak yet.
If it hadn't been for the eye, do you think, were you strong enough then to have gone on?
Definitely, I was pacing myself, and towards the last half of the fight, that's when I wanted to come on strong.
You didn't want to back off, did you? I mean, every time you attacked, you stood your ground and countered.
Well, that was the plan. I know Neville. He's a tremendous champion. He's a good fighter. He's about the best around at the moment. But I thought I could beat him, but it was not to be.
What do you think the turning point was? I mean, was it just in the 7th round, or were there signs before that things were troublesome?
There was no trouble at all. I was in complete control, I thought. But I felt the blood start to run down the side of my face. And from then on, I knew then it was quite a bad cut. And the obvious thing was to do was think of the future and not to let it get any worse.
See, I remember you as an amateur. You were a great amateur. It's taken you 4 years and a bit to become champion of Britain. I mean, these are the moments now when you're going to take advantage of all the work you've put in over the years, and it's a lot of work, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, you've noticed I've been around a long time, it seems, but I'm only got 27. Great future ahead of me. Mickey's looking after me. Brendan is my gaffer in the gym. He gives me the hard work. He's obviously going to give me a telling off tomorrow. I know.
Telling off?
A telling off, yes. Very much so.
What would you have done if you'd lost?
I'd hate to imagine. More than likely, they brought hanging back.
Well, it was a hard fight, and Brown will next go for the European title. Well, next week on Sports Night, we feature